Hi guys, this is Trina and welcome to my channel. Oh my goodness, it's a lot been going on. Um, Lord have mercy. Yesterday I experienced road rage and it was not fun. Guy just bulldozed into my lane from the right side of me. Just bulldozed. I mean, we're in traffic, it's bumper to bumper, and he just pulls in and I pull up because I'm like, what? I mean, it would be different if you asked and you said, ma'am, is it possible, to let me in? I mean, of course I would have. I mean, I was looking straight and you just come in and bulldoze in my space, which there's none really for you to get in there, but you did. And when I pulled, just pulled forward a little bit, he got upset and said that I hit his car. I didn't hear anything. I didn't think that I had hit his car. And he called me the B word. I got out the car to see if I hit his car. And it did look like I swiped it. I don't know. And he said I swiped it. And he tells me I need to pull over. I get back in my car because he had came around to my car and banged on it, and that's when he was telling me I had hit his car. Um so I'm thinking, oh no, I'm not getting out this car with you in any kind of way because you're being very extremely aggressive towards me. So we're near the World Congress Center in Atlanta, and so I see police officers out there because they got something going on, an event going on. So that was my mindset to go near where the police officers are, not pull over. He's driving behind me yelling, saying I'm trying to leave. I'm not trying to leave the scene. I'm trying to leave, get away from you to get near somewhere where it's safer, where there's police officer, and then we can deal with this. He follows behind me yelling, saying, pull over, pull over. And I'm like, I'm not pulling over. This young man pulls in front of me and stop his car, like preventing me from moving. Because mind you, the traffic is pretty bumper to bumper on both sides of me. And so you don't really have anywhere to go. But I managed to try to move into the next lane, and I did. But unfortunately, I hit another woman because he caused me to I guess I didn't see the lady and pulled, and hit her car. It wasn't bad, but it was enough. I did hear that. And so at this point now we're both having to stop, all three of us. And he's getting out the car. See, I told you, you see what you did and all this stuff. We do get a police officer, and he's not the one who's going to take the report. I give my speech. I'm upset at this point. So I'm a really shaken, getting teary eyed because I'm like, I wasn't trying to telling the police officer I wasn't trying to leave. I was kind of fearful for my life at this point. I didn't say really fearful, but I did say that I didn't know he was being extremely aggressive with me. So my mindset was like, no, I'm not getting out this car and pulling over nowhere near where you are like that. But it just was so interesting that this happened like this. I mean, being so hot headed. I mean, for him to go to that level, and his car was swiped. It wasn't that bad, but he caused it. One of my friends and family members, they pointed that out, that he was the aggressor. He's the one who caused all of this accident because he caused me to hit that woman's car trying to get away from him because he's in road rage. He's bullying me. He started this whole thing, but he made me feel like so terrible because I'm like, man, I don't cause two car acts. I mean, hit two cars, and I'm like, I was just on my way to an appointment. But I just thank God that things were not as bad as it could have been. This young man could have hurt me or harmed me, but I thank God that he had his guardian angels to protect and defend me, and that, you know, I just want to go forward. I want to make sure I stay focused, keep myself calm and safe, and use wise judgment. I'm telling you guys, we have got to remain at peace as much as possible and do not get into any arguments and altercation with anyone, because the spirit that's running rapid out there is a very angry and unsettling and anxious spirit, and none of us need that. And I today I we funeralized my one of my great good friends. She was 97 years old. Oh my God, love that woman. She was such a sweetheart, nice woman. I love her family. I'm really good friends with her daughter. We're both part of a prayer ministry, and Sister McNeese just a blessing. She is what I call one of those, what we would call like a silent investor, where you invest money and give, but you're not out front. That's the type of person she was. Just so sweet and cared about the church and community. She loved the church. She was so faithful, just a woman of grace and dignity, and godly woman, and raised up, kept a legacy, a family of sons and daughters that are just spiritually powerful and faithful to, and her grandchildren and great grandchildren and great great grandchildren. I've been so impressed by this family over the years. They would meet on Mondays and come together as a family. And this was back when you didn't, people were not necessarily doing it, Zoom and all of that chatty stuff so much over the phone like that. You were still doing it in person. They would meet every Monday and come together and pray over their family. And that impressed me so much. And Sister McNeese, one time, we were in the store. I would take her to church because I lived in the area some years ago. And she, her family at the daughters and stuff at that time was going to a different church. So I would take her to church. We went to the same church, and take her to church and bring her home. We have our Sunday outing. She loved to go to Piccadilly or cook. Cook for me. She can cook. I mean, when I tell you, make you want to slap your face. It was so good. But one time she took me into, I think it was a Ross or something, and she bought me this beautiful suit. I get compliments on that suit right now to this day. I've had that suit probably almost 15 years, and I wore it to her celebration of life. And guys, I'm telling you, we better learn how to appreciate our elders and give them their flowers. There's a wealth of information in their tenacity to stand. I just love how they love God, and they were so faithful. They would just, it was a community base back then for them. You helped people, you helped each other, you stuck together. That's the type of generation that she grew up in. She was there during the great, probably the all that Jim Crow and the depression and all of that. She was 97. She would have been 98 this year. So I just learned so much from her. And there's been um, others, the longevity at my church, the ones that came up. It's just so many of them that live like 100 plus. One of my another best friend is Ann Moore. She's 105 years old. God willing, she's going to be 106 years old. I'm telling you, she was a fashion designer. And Sister McNeese, the one we funeralized today, she took a sewing class at Spelman College. And Ann Moore was a fashion designer. She taught the class to Sister McNeese. Sister Ann Moore, also grew up and went to Simpson Street. Is still a member of Simpson Street Church of Christ. Um, and when my friends were showing me the certificate that Sister McNeese had gotten, and I said, "Oh my God, Ann Moore was the instructor." Ann Moore is the oldest living Spelmanite, and she's a member of Simpson Street Church of Christ. I just, I am just so in awe and such a privilege to have known them. Their I've learned so much from them, and I just love their steadfastness to just remain faithful in the word. They won't let nobody, they don't care how much the generation says whatever about church, and church ain't, this, and, hypocrites, and, all that. They remain faithful. And like that scripture says, you know, when you have been faithful over little things, God says, I will make you ruler over many. And Sister McNeese was that. So I love her, and I am so grateful that she's my friend. I didn't look at her age. I don't care what age she was. She was my friend, and I enjoyed living, spending time with her. She had a well-lived life. She lived a long and satisfied life. Don't you want to live a long and satisfied life? I pray that I live 120 years and still sowing seeds and praying and being just in awe of God's grace and mercy. Thank you guys. Bye.